been like this, like with his like paw like up underneath here, and his other one like straight out, and I'm like, all right, I'm never gonna get this opportunity. As soon as I move to grab my camera, he gets up. I'm like, shit.
They know. As soon as you grab the camera, they know.
So, did you know there was a new season of the Trailer Park Boys
Mm-mm.
that just went up? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that show anymore.
Yeah, you think it kind of jumped the shark?
I don't think it jumped a shark, but it's just how long can these characters still be in it? I mean, for fuck's sake, Tom
Yeah.
Arnold was in this season
Oof.
as Tom Arnold, trying to get the Ricky experience, which was really funny.
What's the last thing I've seen Tom Arnold in?
I don't know, True Lies.
No, I feel like there was something recent where he popped up and I was like, it's that fucking Tom Arnold.
I never thought Tom Arnold was all ever that bad.
No, he was fine.
You know what? Next time you're in the band,
I'm gonna look it up. You know, I thought he was alright.
yeah, but that show had an interesting ending of this season because I didn't think they were gonna do any more after 9.
Yeah. Children's hospitals, workaholics. Maybe it was Psych.
Oh,
It showed up
probably.
real late in Psych, which is a severely underrated show.
Oh, I got an awesome uh, Dark World poster
Ooh.
that was a mystery package at my front door. I had forgot I had ordered it.
It's one of those you ordered it months ago and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I need well, I mean, it came international shipping. I'm like, what is this?
What did I get? Who sent me this?
Did I order a bazooka at some point? Like, what is happening? Um, I am
Hey,
the
Dimebag.
trying to think. Uh, let me see.
Tom Arnold executive produced. Tom Arnold, That's My Story, and I'm sticking to it. The TV movie.
Three,
Yep,
two.
that's his face.
All right. What is this? All right. I need to see this kid more. Like it seems like actors I really like to see. They're never in anything anymore.
Yeah. You can see me on the theater.
Like that.
Green Square.
Like that kid from The Raid. Like I
Mm.
want him in more movies because he is just awesome. Uh, he had a little cameo in Star Wars, but let me see. Beyond Skyline and Headshot.
What? What are you looking
No,
up?
no, The Raid. Oh, Iko Uwas. And all right, this guy, Luke Goss, needs to be in more stuff.
Luke
He is
Goss.
awesome. Okay, you've seen Hellboy 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prince Nuwata.
Oh, yeah. That guy's good.
He's amazing. He was Lomax in Blade 2.
Oh, I didn't realize that. There's
Um
like 5 movies coming out this year.
and the whatchamacallit, he was in the sequels to Death Race, which all were like these are pretty good.
Yeah.
Um and I bought what is that one movie? I think it was Interview with a Hitman. I haven't watched it yet, but I own it.
Hmm.
But no, like that dude just needs to be in more stuff because he just, man, is he fucking cool.
Yeah, he's a good presence.
Yeah, but that like just his physicality as Prince Nuwata, like how was this guy not casted in all these action movies? How
Yeah.
is he not a Marvel hero at this point?
I hadn't seen that in a while, and it just showed up on TV the other day. I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch Hellboy 2 again. And I was
Oh,
fixated on it.
just like the delivery of some of those lines. Silence, you hollow things that you are.
It's such a different movie from the first one, which is I think it's a good thing.
But oh my gosh, they cast the perfect human being to play Rasputin, though.
Oh yeah.
that Russian guy was in everything for a little bit, and he just disappeared.
Yeah. It got his Hellboy money.
Yeah. So I saw an article that now with the success of Deadpool, that the Goon movie's back on track.
You know, I saw that too, and I was like,
And I'm like, what was the point of this fucking Kickstarter then?
I know, I'm thinking, like, how much money did I give you on the Kickstarter? And I don't have a movie, and apparently nobody's been working on it?
Yeah.
Even though I've gotten emails that are like, yeah, things are going great.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Kickstarter. I am not doing that ever again.
You just have the worst Kickstarter luck.
Ever. No, I'm the Black fucking Hammer.
Yep. It's only things that you care about are destined to never be successful.
Oh, I know. It's whoa. I'm so angry. No, Todd, not now.
Trevor McD in chat says, I wanted Gina Carano to be Wonder Woman in Batman vs. Superman, or as I call it, Bats vs. Soups. That would have been pretty good.
She'd have been a good cast. Gail Gadot wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the things wrong with that movie, that was the least bit. I was reading an article about Batman vs Superman, and they were trying to justify why we had to see Bruce Wayne's parents die again. I'm like,
Just
no,
jump off a building.
no. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be watching that movie.
Yeah.
I think everyone's girlfriend knew that going in.
God, it's just... Yeah, I don't know. There has to be a better way to present this stuff. I mean, I just... And without... You know, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks, but... You know, just steal from Marvel. Just steal from Marvel at this point. No one cares. They're doing it right.
So I'm rewatching like the Marvel Universe with Liz now, and now I got her on board. And you know, the easiest way to get a chick on board with Marvel movies is show them Captain America.
It's a good movie. It's my least favorite Marvel movie, but it's still good.
Because in all honesty, like personally, I wouldn't kick Chris Evans out of bed for eating crackers.
Sure, he's a handsome man.
He is beautiful.
Yeah. The super soldier serum did pretty nicely.
I would say so.
Yeah.
But like that movie in particular, because there's that tight little unresolved love thread between him and Agent Carter.
Yeah, that's true.
So that gets the girls' meat hooks like right in there. It's like,
Right.
do they get together? No.
No, she's probably dead. It's a comic. It's comics.
So
But
anyway,
this
so I'm
dude with a
rewatching.
red face will be around forever.
So I'm rewatching those movies, and we just got through Avengers: Age of Ultron. And I came to the realization why Marvel movies are better, because the heroes are actually making an earnest effort to save people during the course of the movie and the battles.
Yeah.
They're not just fighting just for fighting.
They're not just like,
attempting to save
there goes
humans.
a building while people are working on it. Oh well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something that just kind of realized me. Like, oh, yeah, I guess they do kind of do that. All right. Gina Carano. What was the last movie I saw her in? Was
Expendables?
Expendables 3.
Yeah.
She had that really good action movie, Haywire.
Oh yeah. That for some reason never really took off. I don't know why.
Kicked the shit out of Fassbender.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. I should go see that. Ewan McGregor injured his hand when he accidentally punched Jean on the head. She's already Wonder Woman. It annoys me.
Well, I mean, a skull's a hard thing to hit. I mean, unless you connect with the jaw, you're going to break a knuckle.
Yeah. And come on, it's Ewan McGregor.
Oh, you're right. She was in Deadpool. I forgot about that.
Oh.
The superhero landing.
Huh. That's a good movie for her to be in.
He's going to do it. She's going to do it, guys. Superhero landing. Here it comes. Ah! That movie's so great. Oh,
I'll see it once it comes home.
May 10th, I think.
Oh,
so it'll be up
just
on
a month.
Digital. It'll be out in digital probably the week before.
Yeah.
Which means I will buy the digital copy and buy the physical copy.
Naturally.
So I bought 2 copies of Star Wars. 2 separate purchases.
Was there a Steelbook one?
Yes.
Of course there was.
So
Oh,
so I was like trolling for steel books again. So I ordered I think like Ip Man 3, some other steel book movie and Star Wars in one shot. I'm like, okay, oh they just announced Deadpool, so I ordered that one. Did I order Star Wars? Nah, fuck it. I just ordered it again. So then
just to be safe.
So then Tuesday comes around and I get two duplicate emails. I was like, oh you asshole.
Oh, man.
So I dropped one off at Donnie's house. He's like, "Oh wait, I got some for you." He comes out with a golf bag. I'm like, "What?"
Thanks, Donnie. I'm glad I know you.
it's just,
You're a strange man.
this is such a weird relationship. Damn. It's, I'm sure he's gonna send me a text. Hey, you want some Burger King? No, and he's gonna show up with a rodeo burger.
No, I'm good. Okay, thanks. I'll get one for you.
Rodeo burger and a chocolate milkshake.
Oh.
Oh my god! So I did this today too. Like one of my great days, like out in public. So, like I'm on my way home. I'm starving. I'm like, all right, I'm going to Chipotle, get my Chipotle burger or my Chipotle burrito bowl. I park on the side of this one plaza, and I walk past. They just replace a Giannino's pizza with a pulp, which
Okay.
is like a juice blender place. Um, so I walk by, and it looks dead. And I'm like, all right. And there's like two girls that are just sweeping, and then I get my burrito, walk out, and they're still in the same spot sweeping the same thing. It's like, all right, I want to make these girls do something. So I get in there, and I look at the board, and it's like way up, far away. It's really tiny print, and she's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Are you? What do you want?" I'm like, "Wait,
I don't know.
protein thing." She's like, "Okay, would you like almond milk or soy milk?" I'm like, "Nah, soy milk, whatever."
Oof, yeah.
So then I see her like I'm sitting there like I didn't read the description. All it bumped up was protein, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So as she's making it, I see her go to the milk station. She starts putting chocolate milk in,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh god, no, because I'm not a fan of chocolate, and I'm really not a fan of peanut butter. So I look up at the thing, and it is chocolate and peanut butter.
The two things you like. The only two things you really don't want to eat
No,
mushed together.
I don't like them at all. I don't
Everything
like them
else
together.
you'll choke
I
down.
don't like them separate. Like if something's got a very little bit of chocolate in it, that's fine. Like
You'll
a
fight through
tiramisu,
it.
I am perfectly okay with that. But this and then like I see her like fill up the big blender bowl, and then goes over and grabs the thing of peanut butter, take these giant spoonfuls of peanut butter, and I'm just like,
You're
oh.
over there just nauseous, like, "Bleh."
So then I'm like, all right, well, screw this. I'm just gonna go sit down. So I went and sit down on a chair, which I thought was normal height, which actually was like this tall off the ground. So now, like, I'm sitting there, my knees are up here, and I'm like, this is the zaniest place I've ever been to.
This place is not built for me in any way at all.
So I go, well, thanks.
Thanks, I guess.
I didn't go, and I'm like, oh, this.
Probably like $8.
And it was like 9.
Jesus.
It was like $9. So then, so then I'm like, all right. So I spent $9 saying I'm gonna choke this fucking thing down.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, just oh man.
Every sip, you're just like, "Bleh, bleh."
No, I don't have a peanut butter allergy. I just have a horrific.
Aversion.
No, I have a horrific Pavlov in response to the smell and taste of peanut butter.
Yeah.
So, in college, I dorm roomed, and my roommates and suite mates were football players and guys trying to pack on mass. So there's a mix of smell of Doritos, cottage cheese, tuna, and peanut butter.
Oh,
Now,
right.
none of those were eaten with utensils.
Right.
So every time I smell peanut butter, I just have this and licked
I forgot about it until you
shiny
just did that.
fucking fingers.
Just
And
pop, pop, pop.
And I just like, oh.
It
Every
was
time
so
I,
gross.
every time I smell it.
I was over in Knobs' room a lot. And
Yes,
it was
like
gross.
this is no bullshit. It drove me insane. And
Daily
like
at like
there's sauce, there's sturges, there's
two other
bowlers,
dudes.
and like I mean these are like 250, 300 pounders,
Yeah.
like just eating an entire jar of peanut butter while we're all trying to play Marvel's Capcom. Just this is
Take you
horrible.
for a ride.
Yeah.
God, that
But
was so gross.
oh, and then eating cottage cheese with Doritos as spoons was just
That I think at that point I was just like, I gotta go.
it is.
I don't like Doritos. I don't like cottage cheese, and everything you're doing right now is the worst.
Oh yeah, and then and then just them just eating tuna fish with their fingers. They're just like, God damn it.
It was so funny because every one of those rooms had a sink in it.
Yes.
You could wash the things you were eating with, or
Yes.
buy plastic spoons,
Or stole it from the food court.
or like everybody did.
Like, I mean, we had sledding trays,
Yeah.
but we didn't have a spoon. Like,
I'm not saying we were smart.
no, we weren't.
I'm saying we were drunk almost all the time.
Oh
We were in the
man.
middle of nowhere in Ohio, on a campus where everybody left every weekend, and we had pretty ready access to alcohol.
Yes. Yes, and those from the greater Youngstown area are familiar with the malt liquor called Laser.
Laser.
And it was 49 cents a 40.
Yep.
And we would take a little road trip, and we go load up the Pepsi cooler. I miss that. I wish I still had it. I
Right in the basement.
yeah. I still remember, like, when that year ended, we all, like, it was like a Viking funeral when we pushed it into the dumpster.
One silent tear rolling down. Goodbye, comrade.
Oh, man.
It's so dumb.
I still remember everyone like giving us dirty looks as we're rolling this thing down the hallway to the ice machine to steal all the ice.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh god, what are they doing?
Oh no, here's another bad night for everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna hear this shit until about 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And at some point, everyone in campus that was still there was funneling through our floor.
Yep.
That was a good year. That was a fun year.
Yeah. It was something.
Oddly enough, that was my best academic year in college. that year when Ben and I lived together, I think I pulled like a 3.8.
Jesus.
I don't know how that was possible. That was the same year we gave up sobriety for Lent.
That was
40
the 40 days of drunkenness.
40 days of drunkenness.
Watching you guys descend into the mouth of madness, like, it was so funny because after 2 or 3 days, you're like, this is great. After 10 days, you guys are like, it's starting to get rough. At like the 15-day mark, all of you wanted to kill yourselves, and like by day 30, you were just lifeless husks.
Well, I remember because that was the first year they had the new the David Center up where where the food court was on like the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
And us just crawling up the stairs to get our.
Just like we have to get food.
I need my plate of tater tots. It's the only thing that's gonna satiate me at this point.
It's the only reason I have to live. Just watching you guys, like, and I think all of us around you were like, guys, this is the one idea we're gonna say you really shouldn't do.
Well, there's that, and like, are you gonna quit? No, I'm not gonna quit. Are you gonna quit? No, I'm not gonna quit. It was 4 or 5 of us that toughed it out
For 40 straight days.
days.
You guys were just sweating 40s at about day 12.
I still remember we were in I think one of our psychology classes, and I kept kicking over Sturgis's backpack that was full of beer and knocking it over. And he had lost the cap to one of the 40s and had like a 20-ounce like Coca-Cola cap on it, and it would just start spitting and foaming all over the place. We were a nightmare.
Yeah, it was That was a rough time for everybody.
Oh man. And somehow Ben still went to church. I still don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't. He was pretty functional throughout that whole thing.
Oh man. I was a mess.
No, you were half dead.
Only to be outdone on Halloween.
Yeah.
I was a nightmare at Halloween. Oh my
I
gosh.
was telling Meg about that the other day. It was like, I left for night class. I came back 3 hours later, and it was like following the path of a fucking tornado. And then when I find
That was
you,
the night I drank that half a bottle of absinthe, wasn't it?
yeah. And when I found you, it was I legitimately could not put the pieces together, and you were gone. You were gone like 4 hours ago. all I told her was it was a long night for all of us.
Yeah, because I was with Vaughn that night because I was in your room. I was playing Res,
Yep.
and I was just in between levels. I was taking good gulps of absinthe the whole time.
And if anyone hasn't played Res, a level is maybe a minute long.
Oh, they're 10 minutes.
I
Well,
thought
no,
you were doing it.
No, I was doing between sequences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
between sequences, so like every minute just flip. And then, you remembered that it is also a hallucinogen.
Yeah, and then I got thrown out of my favorite bar
Yep.
at the Giesen house because, oh, man, I was wearing that shirt we made early in the day about don't kill the kittens, save the kitties, and I ended up in a wig at the Giesen house with I don't remember what else.
I don't think it was people we
And
knew.
I remember I was still drinking at that point because I had run out of absinthe, and
Which is like problem number one.
I got my bucket of beer, and then I started doing shots with Vaughn at the bar, and I shit you not, to this day this happened, that it was a costume party, and a dude dressed up like the Grim Reaper bought me a shot called an Adios Motherfucker, and that is the last sentient thought I had that night, and that was at 11.
Yep.
And apparently I was up till 6 a.m. fucking running around the
Oh,
campus.
yeah, you were just unhinged. The whole... Not hurting anybody, not hurting another person. Personal property, however, was just wrecked.
I dove through a window that night.
You dove through a screen window because it
No,
wouldn't open
no.
for you.
The door, like I tried kicking in my door because I locked myself out.
Yeah,
And this is all secondhand what I was told what happened.
yeah.
So
I was there for that.
So I took 2 steps back and tried to open the room that I thought was mine, and it didn't open. So I took 2 steps back and jumped through the window, and luckily it came unhinged from the glass.
Yeah, you didn't go through it. It just
It
kind
didn't
of
through the
swung
glass.
out.
It just swung open, and then proceeded to roll around in my roommate's stuff.
Shoe boxes all in his room. You were just busting up each and every one of them.
That feels. What the hell was his name?
I don't even remember.
It was that tall. It was that tall black dude. I felt so bad about
Yeah,
it.
he was
moved
actually
out-
a good dude. So
He
like,
moved out the next day.
he just loved his shoes.
He moved out the next day.
He did. He's like, you know what? I think that was the night you also puked on that like 18-piece sectional.
Yeah, that was like 20 feet long.
The weird thing about those dorm rooms, so for people that don't understand, dorm rooms are kind of skinnier and super long. It was legitimately a 20-foot long sectional that like 3 people could lay on and not touch each other.
Yeah.
It just puked all over it.
Oh man, I felt horrible. I do. I still feel bad about that.
Don't do absence, kids.
Oh jeez. College.
Yeah. Thankfully, we only did that once. Learn your lesson.
Oh man, that was bananas. I just remember seeing Green. Oh my god, I roughed up the Punisher that night too.
You did. You sure did. I got a note from him on Facebook the other day. Remind me once we're done to reach it. I don't go on Facebook. I do it like once every 6 months where it's like, oh man, I haven't been on Facebook. To have all these messages from people I haven't heard in years, and it's like 4 months old. Where it's like, sorry.
Whatever happened to Z? You remember Z?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that dude just
I don't
disappeared.
even remember that dude's name.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Z.
Him. We'd be stuck at a loading or at a screen, and you're prompted hit a button, Z.
Yeah.
Come on, hit the button,
Hit
Z.
button, Z.
That's all I remember him.
Yeah.
When they stole my Dreamcast and left a ransom note.
God, you were so pissed.
I was furious. And not to, I was pissed, but it was really funny because I had my Dreamcast and I didn't have a TV.
I mean, you had your priorities. Your baby had to come with you.
We're still, yeah. Well, same thing. Remember the tornado that was coming towards campus?
Yep.
And I unhooked my Dreamcast and stashed it under a whole bunch of stuff so it wouldn't get destroyed. I'm right. Like, we were in the shelter. I was like, no, I gotta save it.
No, my Dreamcast. I mean, we were in college not making any money, so a $200 console was pretty expensive.
Well, it was like the first legitimate thing I bought with my own money.
Yeah. Like the first actual console where you're like, all right, I have to put down a lot of money to get this thing.
Yeah, this is 90% of my savings.
Yeah. For this one thing, and it sure as hell better be good.
And it was. It was great.
Kitten, don't fall off of that, please. Tibble. Okay, go back to bed.
Oh.
All right, you ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Knobs.
What's up?
Quick piece of programming here before we start. The latest episode of the TVGP Game Club is out. It was the Hannah and I talking about FTL. So that turned out really well. So I'd go check that out. The voting for it's in the feed now. It's probably you're listening to this one. It's just right below this one. The voting for for Game Club number 36, 3 years of brand new Game Club. The Hannah recommended Outland, which I think is that blue-red
yes
platformer.
It's Metroidvania.
Yeah. Urgent
That's a
X.
good game.
Yeah, I've always heard. I never checked it out. Urgent X Fury recommended Rambo the video game, because why not? And Timasil recommended Spec Ops The Line. So 2 great games there and 1 really good joke game. So go vote. Your vote matters. The last month's game won by 1 vote. So your vote matters. If you're not on the forums, tvgp.tv/forum. Join the forums.
Yeah.
Mark yourself on the map.
Yes, please.
All that stuff.
It's in the off-topic thread.
There you go. All right, with all that out of the way, Knobs, what have you been playing?
Hey, well, continuing my year of 2010,
Right.
or actually more, I think 2008 was Left 4 Dead?
Something like that,
Left 4 Dead 2. So this game is backwards compatible. And so that was Monday Night Game Night last night, and man, this game still got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's going home?
It brings the stars back out, and it is a lot of fun.
Dream Team coming back together?
Yeah, speaking of Dream Team, we decided to take on some randos. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday night. We took on a random group, and yeah, whoever's still playing that game is really good at that game.
They're still playing it for a reason.
Yeah, so I was off mic for I think the first or 2 chapters because I was on the phone, and I think we scored 63 points in the first level at Dead Center, which is not good.
That is virtually nothing. Yeah.
I mean, it is. We didn't even make it to the death ledge.
Yeah, for anybody that hasn't played Left 4 Dead, you basically get points for normal stuff like kills or incapacitations and stuff like that, but you also get points for how far you made it in the map. 63 basically means you made it out of the first room and
Out of the
died.
safe room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So man, it was frustrating because I was off mic and I was still like by the time everyone around me died, I still had 93 health and my health back.
Oh
And I'm
wow.
like, what are you guys like I'm yelling, like I'm on the phone, like I don't understand what these guys are doing. Like we're not a bunch of rookies here.
Yeah.
And I'm picking them up left and right and stuff and we got them we got them just a little bit further. So they were up by I think maybe 100 150 points. The second round, we made it really deep into the map, and we stoned them pretty quickly.
Hmm.
So now we had like a 300 or 400 point lead going into the round number 4, and then by that time it was, I think it was like a 15 point spread
Oh
at
jeez.
that point, and on the finale where we're in the arcade or not the arcade in the mall. They got 5 gas cans.
Oh
5 gas cans. I'm like, oh, we're never going to be able to get 5 gas cans. So we really got to hustle.
yeah.
We got 5 gas cans, and the wheels fell off.
Oh.
We lost by 15 points.
Oh my god.
But it was a lot of fun. Just whoa.
Tibble.
Hey, for once it's not me.
Yeah, for once it's not you. For once it's my cat. Yeah, cat. That's what happens when you roll over. Just knocked a. He's laying somewhere he shouldn't, and he knocked a box off.
And he
Thanks, buddy.
scampered out of the room.
Yeah, go back to bed. No, he's not moving.
Oh.
He's gonna go back to bed.
So yeah, this game was it still has that magic of the adversarial mode, which I think is probably what works best when we're playing with a group of friends,
Yeah.
and what kind of is missing when we're all playing Battlefield is just the sheer variety of what you're playing on the infected side is what makes that game so much fun to play.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the one thing that really set Left 4 Dead apart is that and you have to remember, I think people have to remember in general when that game came out, playing as the bad guy was usually like, oh, I'm just the enemy squad, but we all have the same guns as everybody else.
Yeah, it's you're the blue squad, we're the red squad.
Right.
You know, it was about Team Fortress. It is pretty
Right.
much was the pinnacle of that. But this gave you such a variety of play style. And with Left 4 Dead 2, they doubled the amount of special infected.
Yeah.
So you weren't just getting the smoker, the boomer,
The hunter.
and the hunter. So it just wasn't that combination. You had the jockey, the charger, the spitter. And
Yeah.
all those things have different advantages, and a lot of them are like I think the fun thing about it is you can manipulate your characters into doing certain things because pretty much all you're really trying to do is stop their progression,
Yeah.
and that's how you're going to win because you're only really scored on the amount you make it into that level
Yeah.
and the amount of people that make it into that, like to the depth of actually playing through an actual level, getting to the safe room, and it's a lot of fun. So Monday night game night back on Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's, I was just thinking of like all the moments we would have in Left 4 Dead where it's sort of like, all right, they only spawned 3 special infected and we're down by like 10 points.
yeah,
Whoever is still up, you just need to move. Like you just need to run and just get us some points. And
oh yeah,
moments like that makes me really sad that Evolve never really took off. Because it's not like Evolve is a bad game, it just never caught on the same way that Left 4 Dead did.
if there was the monster and then there was another group of player controlled things on that side, because I understand it's tank mode, it's 4v1.
Yeah,
That's fine, but the joy of 4v4
yeah,
is just lost on that. Like, yeah, you got to move together and stuff. And the thing with Evolve was there was such a learning curve in the trying to take advantage. And by the time we were really starting to have some fun with it, the community got so much better than us, and we just didn't want to spend the time to learn all these games. There was too many systems.
Well, it was relied so much on playing your class. Where um, if you compare that to Left 4 Dead, you never really have to learn what your character does. Like you're playing as a smoker, for example. Your reticle shows when you can grab an enemy.
Yes.
And you grab them and you pull them towards you because you have a super long, scary tongue. That makes sense right off the bat. And then
Yeah.
you just refine your your strategy around that, but you don't have to learn four different moves or three different types of equipment or anything. It just
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the beauty of that game is it's so simple.
Yeah,
Like you have your normal guns and then you have enhanced weapons. Which is like an automatic shotgun versus a pump action shotgun, or
a better automatic
An
rifle.
SMG or an assault rifle or
Right.
a hunting rifle, and like you really just fall over. Like a hunting rifle, and then you have like a better hunting rifle. Like
Right.
there's it's as easy as it can be as far as arsenal wise, and then you have the special effect to have one mode of attack,
Yeah.
and you have to know how to exploit that and time these your attacks off in sequestration in a good sequence with the other special effects that have spawned. Like if you're like a hunter, a smoker, and a boomer are on screen, the boomer's gonna attack first. The smoker's gonna pull the one person that did not get boomer bile all over him, and then the hunter's just gonna be the last one on the party and just annihilate a person.
Yeah.
So you're trying to spread out and strategize all these different ways that you can get the most out of what your spawn is.
And it's designed in such a great way that I forgot until we were talking about it how each one of the special infected have a sound that they make where
Yes.
like, oh god, there's somebody with a hunter somewhere. I have
Yeah.
no idea where they are, but one of us is just going to get rocked almost immediately.
Yeah, and like that's something like you're always keeping your eye out. And the best thing about that is as you're playing as the survivors, you're paying attention to how many specials that you just put down. You're
Right.
like, look, we got 30 seconds, we can pick up some ground here because we're waiting on their spawn
Yep.
right now.
Or the normal infected are swarming you and you're in between waves of special infected and you just can't make any ground and it's the worst feeling.
Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
worst is being held up by the common.
Yeah.
But
That's such a great game.
it's something that just I don't understand how it wasn't bigger than it really was. I mean, it's huge for us. I mean, we've
Mhm.
been talking about and singing this game's praises for, I don't know, the better part of a decade.
I think on PC it was really big. I mean, I don't think it ever got to the Counter-Strike point, but I don't think it
Oh,
ever was going to. But I think it was legitimately pretty big on PC because I feel like it was one of those big initial Steam games where it's like I have my friends list, I have the servers list, like I can just invite people in Steam and we can just make a party and we're
yeah.
chatting and everything just kind of works. I think it was one of those first few games where it just kind of worked and I think the only thing that hurt it originally was Left 4 Dead came out and it was really good. And then seemingly overnight, Left 4 Dead 2 came out. And it's
Yes.
like,
Within a year,
yeah, it's like
it had,
$60 again.
it seemed like a cash grab at the time, but then you realize the amount of content they put into that game is like I understand why it wasn't an expansion, but come on, guys, that's a
Yeah.
little too close.
And they put some randomization in it too, which helps a
Yes.
ton.
Yeah, so that
It's a great
game's
game.
still amazing.
Yeah.
And we'll probably be doing that more than a few times a week again
Yeah.
because it's still a lot of fun. And man, I just still love those original maps.
Yeah.
Man, those original maps are just so on the
Really
nose.
well designed.
Um, and then the other game I played this week and by the way, backwards compatible games you can stream the crap out of those. So
That's really
I'm
great
gonna
to
be
hear.
I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna do solo runs on through the campaigns because
Yeah.
that game is just a lot of fun to play,
Yeah.
even still to this day. Not quite as good as I used to be. They called me the surgeon for a reason because
Yeah.
I'd pick
Or
people
the
up
hunter
behind
surgeon.
walls. Oh my god, I love picking those guys coming at
Yeah.
you. But the other game I played, I just started it today, was I finally got around to starting Quantum Break.
Very excited to hear how this is.
So it's what's the game I was looking for? It's Vanquish minus the knee jets, the knee rockets.
Okay, that still sounds okay.
So you have your time manipulation skills. You got your bullet shield with just the flex bullets that are coming at you. You have your burst stop where you can stop time for one guy. You just pepper him, and then you have your quick dash,
Okay, like
which
cover to
all
cover dash, or just in general.
just quick dash.
Okay.
And by you quick dashing, you're almost like kind of like quantum jumping forward. So they're all still shooting where you were, and you have
Okay,
like a little bit of time to sit there and pop, and then dash again, get the next group.
that's kind of cool.
So it really encourages you to not play it like a cover-based shooter,
Mm,
even though you can if you really want to.
sure.
It's a lot. The gameplay is a lot more fun and snappier if you're actually out in the middle of the room, just bouncing around and just wrecking dudes.
Yeah, just staying mobile and using your powers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a lot of fun. The weapons, I don't know, whatever, they're guns. Sure.
Is it modern day stuff or like near
Yeah,
future?
it's
Yeah.
like October future.
Okay, so like later this year.
Yeah. So like later this year, we're gonna break time.
Yeah.
But I've had this little so I'm a big fan of like media and movies and TV shows and stuff. So I've had like these little things because the cast is very recognizable.
Is it all famous actors and actresses?
No, they're not famous, but they're famous in our eyes because they're in a lot of things that we like and love.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, all right, so number one, Agent Broyles is in it from Fringe.
Oh.
So
You're just
anytime
like,
you look like there's Agent Broyles. I don't know his real name, but it doesn't matter. He's Agent Broyles.
yeah.
And then Bobby Drake is the lead from X-Men.
Nice.
And then you have Mary from Lord of the Rings as one of the brothers. I think he's Bobby Drake's brother.
Oh, I thought he was gonna be a bad guy, and I was like, man, this game is going places.
No, the best is the bad guy's Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. So,
Amazing.
because why not? He's in charge of everything mysterious going on in Westeros. So why
Yeah.
not here? Um, he's still running things in town. Um, yeah. So the gameplay is a cover-based shooter and mostly a lot of time manipulation and just gunplay.
Yeah.
The story seems fairly interesting. The time machine looks awesome.
No, that's actually pretty important.
It looks and it's the simplest explained time machine. I was like, okay, so you walk through it clockwise to go forward in time and counterclockwise to go back in time.
Perfect.
How has no one ever explained time travel that simply before?
That's amazing.
Like it's
Have you made the first decision in the game?
I have.
Okay.
So and what's kind of cool is when you make those decisions on that side, that's from the villain's point of view or what you perceive as the villain,
Right.
which is Littlefinger. So you have these. So there's two different things. You have your gunplay fight mechanic is the Bobby Drake side, which is the guy in the cover. And then you have Littlefinger that does the more of the decision and time, really the consequence side of your decisions. So, oh yeah, screw it. The first decision you're going to make is you have a choice. You have a protester that's protesting the Mighty Monarch Corporation from to making an example of her or making, fugitive number one, Bobby Drake.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think his name is Stacy or something. It's some whatever. Bobby Drake. He's Iceman. I'm sorry.
Right.
He'll never live that down for me.
Yeah.
So what decisions you make on Littlefinger's side.
Bobby Drake versus Littlefinger.
No, this is why this game is making this. I'm making my own fun with this game by
Yeah.
making these characters these weird names from other properties that they've been a part of. So so as you're playing as Littlefinger, you have a decision. You're going to either make an example of this woman, just make her disappear, out of sight, out of mind. You're going to kill her, or you're going to make her demonize the hero character that you just played.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of want to skew everything to help you on the other side of the gameplay, but then you kind of want to see what happens with if you don't.
Right.
It gives you a chance to preview, like glimpse preview, what the consequences of these decisions are,
Right.
and then you have to confirm either or as you're doing it. Um, which is really cool that the decisions are handled by a, what you would perceive as the antagonist of the story.
Well, and it seems like, at least on the surface, that would kind of avoid the standard stuff that a lot of people complain about in games, which is, well, there's clearly a good decision and there's clearly a bad decision. So I'll just play the good playthrough this time, I'll play the bad one next time. You're the bad guy and you're making two quote-unquote bad decisions. You just have to decide which bad one you're going to make, really.
But it's kind of funny, like the worse this. Sorry. So it's kind of weird that the bad decision that you would make, or what you would perceive as the renegade decision, on his side, actually would make the game easier for the protagonist on his side of the game.
Right.
But you don't want to do it because,
Because that woman is probably innocent.
well, yeah, she's wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
So no, I don't want to see her shot. We're gonna make a propaganda thing out of her,
Right.
and vilify and pull this guy up to the surface, which makes your side a little bit harder. And I just ran into another one. What's really cool is there isn't a lot of gameplay on his side. So on his side, it's more or less behind the scene, like peel behind the curtain of what's happening on the other side. No, I don't think either side's really wrong in what they're trying to do.
Right.
It's just one guy's going about it like he is exhausted with his efforts, and he's like, "This is the only path that I see, good, bad, or indifferent. This is the way I'm moving." So his side, like in the setup episodically, like all Remedy made this one, right?
Yeah.
The Alan Wake guys.
Yeah, the Alan Wake guys. So, you kind of know what you're getting into, sort of storytelling wise.
Yeah, so there's a cool little like Molly and Sculder show that's up on one of the screens. I've only found one episode of it so far,
Oh,
which
I'm glad they have more TV shows. Those were great in Alan Wake.
I'm keeping my eyes out for that. But it has a show that's kind of going along with the actual game itself.
It has like a TV show.
Right, which is played by live action characters that you're seeing in the game rendered.
Yeah.
Which is it kind of hit that uncanny valley a little bit. You're like, it's just doesn't.
It's like, I just saw that dude like in the flesh, and now he has a polygonal one. That's a little.
And it's not quite there, man.
Yeah.
And I wish like more games would go more to a stylized look if they're going to have live action actually in the game, that you don't have that comparison in your face all the time.
Yeah, make it a little bit easier to have it look so different from what you just saw that it doesn't match up at all.
Right, you're not trying to like, wait a minute, this doesn't. Oh, I must be, and it's so clearly you're back in the game.
Right.
Like you're just like, no, whatever. But yeah, so Littlefinger's side of the game. So you make these decisions, and then you have a little episode that you have to sit and watch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sit and watch it, but you're gonna watch it anyway.
Yeah, because it's based on the decision you just made.
Right, and it's following these two characters that are NPCs in the game. So you're actually seeing this another facet. So it's actually following 4 characters and not just 2.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty cool, and the show is done really well. Like it matches up with the look, and there are these enemies that you fight have like these giant spiky things that allow them to do your quantum moves.
Oh.
But they're like just regular soldier, like they're up soldier guys, and they have this really cool like red trails as they're like jumping around and
like
stuff.
Like Akira trails.
Yes, Akira trail. So those all look really cool. They look really cool in the game, and they look really, really cool as the live action stuff. Like they matched what that game looks like in the real world, and for what it looks like in the game, really, really well.
That's pretty cool.
Like the uniforms, the enemy models look like that is completely believable that that's what those dudes would look like.
Right.
nothing is ridiculous. But that being said, like it's it's a cover based shooter with a time mechanic. I
Yeah.
mean, is really, and I could see how people would get frustrated with that gameplay, but get out on the ledge a little bit and play with getting in the middle of the room and getting yourself out of safety,
Yeah, start
because
using the powers.
that's when that game feels like it shines and it's most fun.
Yeah.
And it's not brought to you by Duracell
Yeah. I forgot about that. uh,
or the Ford Sync system.
yeah.
But yeah, so I really want to go downstairs and jump back into it because I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's good to hear because some of the reviews have seemed kind of middle ground, and I'm curious to hear,
Well,
how it ends up.
I think it's being reviewed about as good as Alan Wake was.
Yeah, I think Alan Wake got away with a little bit higher scores because I feel like that was something that hadn't gotten done before, at very least on consoles.
Yeah,
It was something really different. It was pretty spooky, which horror games, if they're good, they tend to get reviewed a little bit higher.
they get a
Stuff
little
like
bit
that.
more of a pass. Like this is more like a sci-fi actiony type game, and
Yeah.
the quantum effects look really really cool.
I've seen some of those. Those look real neat.
Like just the little phasing of the hands and stuff, and just trying to put all the pieces together and stuff. But
Yeah.
the cast so far has just been a riot for me.
Yeah.
Just calling them the wrong names in my head. Like, no, stop it.
Stop it,
Just
Mary.
freeze everything, Mary. Stop
Yeah.
it. Where's Pippin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully
if he
he'll be
makes
in
a
there
cameo,
later.
I'll lose it. I was like, ah, this is so much
Game of
fun.
2016.
But it is nice to have nice to have like a single player experience and have some sort of meaningful like little bit of impact with the decisions, and the way they're presented is really smart,
Yeah.
and the way they're progressing this story through, I think is kind of really really genius.
Well, and allegedly too, there are a lot of those episodes in the game, the live action between, because
Yeah,
as you start making more decisions, they have more variations of those episodes based on which paths you went on.
I am really curious. I mean, because I can clearly see on how much of an impact that first decision I made had in the show, and then the second one I was like, oh wow, this would be completely different if I made that decision.
Yeah, and I think there's another episode if you were to make that decision. So there
Yeah,
seems to be a lot of video.
but and all the videos done really really well,
Yeah.
and it doesn't do the normal FMV thing where it would totally pull you out of the experience of the game. Like I kind of feel like vested in what's happening, which is for a game I played all like 3 hours of. I'm really surprised it has grabbed me that fast.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
So that's my week.
All right, so thanks to Musum for mentioning it to me. I'm playing the mobile game Marvel Avengers Academy.
Is that the one where you level up your character in a fighting game?
No. What Marvel game is that? That's another like Marvel Heroes something.
Yeah, Marvel Heroes Fight or something. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Venom Carnage is pretty great. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just
Let's
a
stick with
genius
that
thing.
one.
That's almost as good as the Red Hulk symbiote Spirit of Vengeance was
Jeez.
one of the craziest things I ever saw in comics.
Yipes. Well, Marvel Avengers Academy is pretty much the polar opposite of that. It's really, so it's one of those waiting game sort of games. Like you'll go have your Marvel heroes go do something, and it'll take X amount of time for them to do something. Your phone will say, "Hey, this guy's done doing it. Come back and get the rewards." What's really cool about this is it's basically all of the Marvel characters in high school, and you're basically building up this this shield fortress to fight Hydra, but all of it is featuring really young, high school aged Marvel superheroes, and they have a ton of fun with, Tony Stark being a teenager and Loki being a teenager and being moody, and all these really great you get a really different view of all of them. And there's this big event going on now where the Guardians of the Galaxy are coming in, and Star Lord is like 15.
He just got kidnapped.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because it gives a different spin on it. Because it could have just been, hey, here's everybody, all your favorite guys, they're all just here together for some reason, right? But all of them have to be there for school, and it's being run by Nick Fury, of course, and it's really good, and it's sold primarily on that premise because the rest of it is click on this thing and have, you know, have the Wasp go do something for 2 hours. And then you come back 2 hours later and you'll have her do something more. And if a couple people do stuff all together, then you get another story beat. But it's pretty charming. It's keeping me going with this kind of charming thing of here are these high schoolers fighting against Hydra, but also now there's this Guardians of the Galaxy stuff where some ship, Ronan's ship, just crashes outside of the Academy, and now the Chitauri are invading the campus. So, Dimebag asks, "Is it a free game?" It is.
Yep, I'm downloading it right now.
It's a little bit aggressive about wanting you to buy things to accelerate the game, but so far, and I talked to Musim, and he's played way more than I have, and he said there is at no point the requirement that you have to spend money. So it's just either you can let somebody go do something, you can let the Falcon go do something for 5 hours, or you can pay 50 crystals to have him finish it immediately, but you might have to spend $1 for 100 crystals, something like that. So it is free, and it seems like it's truly free. It's just you have to keep quote unquote.
Did someone just roll by on a moped?
It's one of those, basically.
Is it a mini bike?
Basically.
A pocket bike?
Yeah. Put. So thankfully you just have to put in the time, which is really clicking on a couple things and letting the Marvel guys do what they do while you're gone. On the other side of the spectrum, for mobile games, the Kingdom Hearts mobile game came out this week. Kingdom Hearts Unchained. It's an X, but it's not really because it's Kingdom Hearts. So it's the Greek X symbol. So I think that's Chai. I don't remember.
What? That's a 10.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts Unchained 10. So of course it has to have some dumb symbol in it because it's Kingdom Hearts. This game is weird. So it is, and it's a canonical Kingdom Hearts game, and it's the earliest game in the storyline at this point. And it's so far it's very much a Kingdom Hearts game where it's, you have a Keyblade and you're fighting against the Heartless, and the very first world was a Sleeping Beauty world, or a Snow White world, sorry. The second one is the Alice in Wonderland one. But so far, it seems like it's when you go and you play a chapter in this game, you're moving around on the screen with. It's a 2D game. You're moving around this very small field with your finger, and you run into enemies and you fight them. You tap on them to attack them, or you kind of swipe the whole screen and it attacks all of them at the same time. And that's kind of it so far. I've finished probably about 15 missions here, so it seems like I'm not super deep in the game, but it doesn't seem like there's a ton to it yet, other than you're getting these medals dropping and you smush them together to upgrade the medals for when you go fight, and it seems interesting so far, but hopefully you're watching the video for Knobs' dog climbing on him. It just seems fine so far. And thankfully it's not really money grubbing like I was worried a Square Enix game would be. And this one's free too. So you can just download that and play some Kingdom Hearts. I've been playing a little bit more Miitomo. I don't think there's really anything to do in this game other than answer a bunch of surprisingly reflecting questions about you and your life and comment on questions like that your friends have answered. That's kind of it, it seems. So once I save up enough money to buy the Legend of Zelda Picross that's on 3DS, I will probably be done with it until they announce another thing that I have to play Mitomo to get money on.
It just sounds horrible.
Yeah, but I like Picross a lot, so it's just I think it wants to be a social network, but it has none of the trappings that really keep people in a social network, and it's so slow. It is unbearably slow. Like, you go and you click on one of your friend's questions, and it does the Tomodachi Life sort of speaking, this weird Vocaloid speaking, and it reads out a bunch of stuff, and then you can kind of send them a heart. You can basically like it, or you can leave a comment. If you like it, it takes like 2 seconds to click it. It takes another 2 seconds for their face to pop out, and then it takes another 2 seconds for someone to say thanks, and then you can click to the next one. So, like,
that sounds horrible, dude.
As you're trying to go through these, and people get benefits if you like and comment on their stuff, they get more coins that you can then spend in the My Nintendo stuff. So there really is a benefit for everybody to answer and kind of help each other, but Ariel Slayer in chat is right. Mitomo's kind of dull. Like, it's kind of there. And it's kind of unfortunate because this is really Nintendo's first mobile thing. Welcome to the land of Marvel Adventures Academy.
I just wanted to open it. This is all.
Enjoy the tutorial. I think the thing that we wanted, or at least I wanted from a Nintendo mobile game, is Pokemon Go, where it's here is a game that they have molded around the smartphone experience. When you look at Mitomo, it's boring Facebook, and I don't like Facebook as it is. I mean, this makes me sound like an old man, but I don't like Facebook as it is. So making that experience slow and not have much to do is not really great, unfortunately.
Why are you climbing through the armrest? What are you doing?
He just needs to lick your face. But a game this week that I have been playing that is great, and it's the last game on my list here, is Enter the Gungeon. I've been looking forward to this game for probably about 2 years since they showed it at some PAX. And if you're interested in seeing what this game really is, go to bostonhand.com and watch my YouTube videos. So this is very much a me game. I think if you take... It's interesting because as you all know, I play a lot of Binding of Isaac. And
what? No.
Yeah. Shudder to think. Enter the Gungeon seems to take that same DNA, but kind of flips a bunch of choices in the game design in a way that I think makes it a really great game, and in some ways makes it a better alternative for a lot of people than Isaac is. And I wanted to get that out of the way at the beginning because I'm going to be referencing Isaac a bunch in the way that this game has made polar opposite decisions of Isaac. So this is a roguelite, so it is very much permanent death and starting a run over again. And it is unlocking things to then pick them up in the gungeon as you're going through, and random drops and random pickups and stuff like that. And big boss battles and a maze and all that sort of standard stuff for this genre. The one big thing that I think is really interesting that they've taken is one of the developers for Isaac, one of the developers' things that they're very clearly in love with is the mystery in Isaac. You pick up an item, it says its name, it says it's a little blurb, and then that's all the info you get. You kind of have to suss it out for yourself and try and figure out how that mashes together with other items to make it to make your synergies happen. The great thing about Enter the Gungeon is you have this book on you called the Ammonomicon, which is just the beginning of amazing gun-related puns. But the Ammonomicon has every item.
Such a great name.
And every time you bring it up, you have to shoot it to open it. So it lands and then it folds open. It's really good. So you have there's only 4 characters. You have all of the items that you start with, and then every gun or item or enemy you've seen in the game are all in the Ammonomicon. So every time you pick up a gun, you can just go in there and it says, hey, it does this thing, and then has some really fun lore behind it. And that's another thing that I think helps Enter the Gungeon a lot is the writing in the game is genuinely really good, and it's building up this kind of lore about the Gungeon itself and how much like knives are hated and are seen as like this wimpy weapon in the Gungeon, because everything is run on guns. Even the keys look like bullets that have a key shape on the end of them. Like your money is spent shell casings. The enemies are bullets that are fighting bullets. They're shooting bullets at you. You know, like it's all very gun themed. So I feel like that's one big thing that sets Isaac and Gungeon apart is the game never wants to hide anything from you. And like you pick up, there's this one gun that I really love. It's called Barrel, and it's a barrel that has like a wooden barrel that has a gun stock attached to it with the trigger, and you pick it up and it says something about you have to be careful in the Gungeon about talking about hypothetical weapons, because the Gungeon at some point will craft weapons based on what people are talking about. But this one, maybe necessarily the Gungeon didn't hear correctly. So when you start shooting this gun, it shoots fish out of a barrel. And it's
what?
So it's this thing where the Gungeon wanted to come up with a weapon, but it kind of heard the whole thing backwards. So instead of shooting fish in a barrel, you're shooting fish out of a barrel. And it's actually a really good gun.
So like the chum gun from
No, it actually shoots like individual fish. Like a bullet is a fish. So you can shoot like 500 fish with that gun.
Oh man, I love still that gun from Saints Row where you're just blasting chum over everything and these sharks just come up.
Yeah, land sharks. But I think the other thing that sets apart Enter the Gungeon is the dodge roll. And it's so simple, but it makes this game way more skill-based in a really different way. And it's great because the game's tutorial is really good and really short. And it tells you that the first half of your dodge roll, you're invincible. And then the second half of it, so basically while you're diving, you're invincible, and then as soon as your character lands and then rolls, you can get hit at that point. And what that allows the game to do is it basically allows some bosses to become really well-designed bullet hell fights, where you can, because you're invincible, you can dodge over 3 or 4 rows of bullets that are coming at you, as long as you're kind of moving against it. You know, they're coming at you, you jump over them. You're invincible through that whole thing because you're jumping over the bullets, and then you land, and then you start shooting again. And it makes it... The whole thing in Isaac is really avoiding the enemy's attacks, but in Gungeon, it kind of flips that, because you don't really have to avoid enemy attacks as much as you have to just get around them in any way you can. Enter the Gungeon is really, really good. I know it's very much a me game, but I really have to recommend it for somebody that maybe wants to play their first roguelite. I think this is a really good one because it's pretty challenging. The bosses are pretty good, but there's a good sense of progression in there. You're always very much like Crypta and the Necrodancer. You're going into the dungeon and you're rescuing people in the dungeon that will go back to the hub that will then sell you things or give you missions or give you rewards or give you bounties and stuff like that. And there are credits, hegemony credits that you're picking up through the game that you can then spend at the shop to then unlock more things in the dungeon. So I feel like much more than Binding of Isaac does, it gives you a hub for one, but it also gives you, I feel, a better sense of progression from game to game, because even if you didn't uh, get very far in one run, maybe you beat a boss and you got 2 more hegemony credits, and you can afford something back at the shop that will then start dropping in the dungeon. So I feel like the progression is really well done, and I think there's maybe a little bit of tweaking the developer can do in maybe the first floor, the first 2 floors, to make some stuff a little bit smoother. But they've been patching the hell out of that game, so I think they're very closely listening. So I really have to recommend it at this point. I'm playing it on PC for my YouTube stuff, but I'm also playing on PS4, so I can play downstairs. Um, I'd probably recommend the PC version at this point. PS4 version has some frame rate issues in 1 or 2 boss battles, which I don't think really destroys the game for me. But one of the big parts about this game is if you can beat a boss battle without getting hit, you get a health upgrade. So being able to avoid those bullets is kind of the name of the game in those boss battles. So I've gotten hit a couple times because of the hitchiness, but I'm hoping they'll patch some of that stuff and it'll be a little bit smoother. But yes, go check out Enter the Gungeon. It's really, really, really good. And that's all I've been playing. So let's take a break.
All right. The game does sound really cool.
I would check it out. It'll run on virtually anything, and I think it's only $10 this week. It's normally. Dimeback says, "Are you guys gonna stream any of the games you're playing?" I was hoping to stream more of the stuff that I was playing. I haven't had a chance to. I know Knobs has been more frequently now that Twitch integration on Xbox One is better. So
Yeah.
go follow him on Twitch. Is it JKnob33?
Yep.
Yep.
You know, me, ultra creative. Oh.
I want to see Knobs playing Battlefield 4 and listen to your convo. So we've been talking about that a lot lately, and we might as well address it here. We know we're getting recorded here when we're doing this live stream. Some people may not. Some people in the Monday Night Crew or the rest of the crew may not necessarily want to be on air all the time, so that might prevent some of the Monday night stuff from getting recorded every once in a while here.
The best thing to do is join in.
Yeah, and Knobs and I are probably going to start playing stuff together with just him and I and live streaming that. It's just I haven't had a chance to get that all fully set up here. So if you're looking for more off-the-cuff blue conversations like the beginning of this show, keep an eye out for some TVGP playdates coming to this very channel at some point. Okay. Let's see if there's any last-minute news stories here.
Yeah, I can't send a professional email if I spell you wrong. I wonder if hold on. Copy, go here, paste.
Like you just click something and your screen went dark. I was just like, oh no.
Mine did?
Yeah.
Is it still dark?
No, it's just like the light on your face just went away, and I was just like, oh, what happened?
Oh. Alright. So could I find a longer URL?
Yeah, what the heck? What is this for?
I am trying to get this.
Is this a print or a steelbook?
That is a print.
Oh. Man, that looks good. Is it a Mondo print?
No, it is cult print.
Huh.
Remember I was talking about that mysterious package I got?
Oh, yeah.
Before we started recording? That's where I got the Dark City one that apparently is glow in the dark. I didn't know that when I
Amazing.
bought it. But the detail on these prints are insane.
Yeah,
Like,
that is a great piece.
I have never seen an image like that for Jaws. That is just it's you know what it's called? It's called Quint's Swan Song.
That's amazing. Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, so stuff.
Yeah.
I'm real close to buying a Vive.
Knobs, why? Do you have a room to put it in?
No, what? Come on.
Did you watch the? I think 3 hours into watching Giant Bomb's Vive coverage. There's 10 hours of it.
Yeah.
Man, that thing looks super cool. There's a lot of stuff that thing does pretty well. I would go watch. That stuff's free. That's not any subscriber stuff. So you should go watch some of that stuff.
Well, I'm thinking cause I'm thinking about shifting the room this way.
Mm-hmm.
Since I got rid of that bed. So I'm thinking about shifting that way, and I can have the monitor set up there, and then have my two pylons on either side of the room. This is a pretty square room.
Yeah.
And
There's a minimum size, though. You'll have to look that up and see if the room is the minimum size.
really, why would there be a minimum size? It's not like it's a broom closet. I mean, it's an average size room. It's not like it's a prison cell.
Yeah, the minimum size is larger than I was thinking, though.
Really?
Yeah, let's look it up.
That's interesting.
Oop, nope, I don't want Vive minimum requirements. I want the freaking space. You'll also need a new video card.
Well, at that point, I was building our computer.
Yeah. What do we do? There's your room. Here we go. Oh yeah, and you can't put them next to each other.
The pylons?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'd be like setting speakers up, you know.
No, that I don't
Go
think they can be
further away.
next to each other. Like they have to be offset, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they'd be catty corner?
Yeah. All right, so minimum clear space you'll need is 1.5 meters by 2 meters, so 5 by 6.5 feet. And the larger you can get, the better.
Well,
That room should be big enough.
Yeah. I mean, I have to get some of the obstacles out of the way. Hold on, I'll grab a tape measure. Hold on. Oh, what, you scared of the tape measure? Yeah, I mean, the square part of the room is about 12 by 11.
Oh, that should be more than enough.
Yeah.
It seems like the maximum is 15 by 15, basically. And the great thing that I like that the Vive does that I didn't know until I was watching their coverage. What is happening here? Is the the chaperone that they made. So basically, you can turn something on where, as you're walking towards the wall or the edges of your space in your physical area, in the game, you'll see a grid in the game saying, hey, you're about to mash your face into your wall. So the game will let you know as you're getting to the limits of where your physical space is. And then at any time, you can actually turn the cameras on, and you can see your room around you in your VR headset.
See, that seems
That seems like a no-brainer.
it seems like the best version of that of what you could possibly get.
It seems like a good system.
I'm just I don't know. You know me. Like I'm just like now I'm like, well, okay, I gotta try this thing now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna buy it.
Well, because unfortunately, there's nowhere you can go to just try it. Also, it's going to be going on somebody's face, and there's like that foam ring. That's going to get
Yeah.
gross immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty grody, so I mean,
No, I'm thinking about like going somewhere to try
I
it,
know.
and like, and somebody
Yeah,
else's face sweat on your
yeah,
face
it's what
sweat.
what I need. Someone sweating beer at Dave and Buster's, the VR set.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody threw up in the
Like
VR headset. And you don't know
wipe
about it.
it down your workout machines.
Yeah. Oof.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Wipe down
want.
your headset.
I want to roll in your human filth
Yeah.
and put that on my face. Week 1 week, I'll be all broken out, like all
Just this one ring.
this ring. What happened? I don't know. The
Oh.
headset gave me the HIV.
Also, it's funny because seeing the straps on the head for that stuff looks an awful lot like my CPAP machine.
So you're already trained.
Yeah, exactly. Except it won't go in my nose; it'll just go on my eyeballs this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to finish this thing up. If you are, I was hoping my headache would go away, and now it just moved.
It just moved behind the left eye.
Yeah, it's just sinus pressure. Hoping it was go away, but no.
Oh.
If I just poke it really aggressively, it should be fine.
Okay, brush your teeth.
I was hoping that would do it earlier. No, it does the same thing for me because it's the pressure. But
like like I tell people that no one believes me.
yeah, it's been raining here for a couple of days, so it's just
Oh,
the
it's the
pressure
pressure.
changing, and it's just I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
I woke up with it and I thought, okay, well, I'll take a nice hot shower and I'll brush my teeth and it should be fine like it usually is, and it just hasn't. Curses. But yeah, I'm fully in that camp of you got a headache that just isn't crazy, you got some pressure going on, just brush your teeth.
Yeah. Drink a glass of water, brush your teeth, and 99% of the time it's gone by the time you're done.
Yep, it just eases that pressure. And your teeth are clean.
Yeah.
How can
It's
you
a
go wrong?
win-win.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Doesn't mean you're dirty. Just means you're just
Yeah.
you just need to release some tension.
Doesn't mean you're dirty, it just means
Something
your
about
mouth
massaging the gums that just
calms you down.
clears that stuff out.
Yeah.
Like scratch behind the ears. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for April 11th, 2016. Dark Souls 3 for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Even though it's been out for a couple weeks anyway,
Yep.
it's actually really coming out now. So if you didn't get it from, was it the Japanese Xbox One store?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yep. Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4, starting over again.
Yeah, I really want to play this. I really like Ratchet and Clank. The
do
only
too.
one I haven't finished was the last one, which was Into the Nexus, but that one was fine.
I think I tapped out at Ratchet Deadlock or something.
Deadlock
Like,
was no good.
Yeah, like that was the last one I attempted to play.
Yeah.
Bravely Second and Lair for the thirds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
There's more time. for
Hopefully
you.
it's not as controversial as the first one was.
And Risk of Rain for the PlayStation 4 and Vita.
Man, this avalanche of roguelikes continues. Risk of Rain is so good, and the developer just came out today and said it's only going to be $10 and cross-buy. So
Well,
that's a
no.
steal.
I might not play it, but I will buy that just for
Yeah,
that.
Risk of Rain is so... The only thing I'm concerned about is on the PC at 1080, because of the art style, the characters could be kind of small. So I'm hoping they handle that well on the PS4. Vita should be fine, because you can just put that on your eyeballs like a Vive. But that's the only thing I would be a little worried about. So tune in next week when I tell you how it is. All right, let's move on to news stories. The sort of closing the loop on this and expressing a little bit of disappointment. The Rock Band 4 PC crowdfunding campaign fails to meet its lofty 1.5 mil goal. It reached $792,000. Okay, birds, I gotta close this window. And keep playing. Jeez. Every time I start recording.
Yep.
Chirp.
They know you're there. They know.
do.
They can sense you.
They like me talking to them. It's kind of a bummer, but it's not really too surprising. I think the thing that's kind of a bummer is how Harmonix sort of responded to it. They basically came out and answered a bunch of questions in a FAQ on the Fig page that maybe should have been answered way earlier. Like at the beginning of the process. Like them coming out and the straw man question here is, the timing for this campaign is terrible. We wanted it years ago. And their first response is, there are solid reasons why we chose to launch it now. And they're coming out and saying like, well, yeah, but we had Rock Band 4 to work on, like on the consoles. And now we wanted to launch it alongside the major update that's coming to the console version of Rock Band 4 this fall. And it's like,
that's kind of like, I just feel like a lot of the crowdfunding is being exploited as far as like a cash grab.
Yeah, and for Harmonix, I never felt like that for them, but $1.5 million for a port for PC of Rock Band seems really high, and they tried to explain it in this post-mortem thing, but you sort of need to explain it originally outside of this video, because the 1.5 mil price is a pretty high price for what is legitimately seen as a port.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to explain why. You have to justify that cost. I mean, I don't know. I just seem that's a sour taste.
Yeah, and I hope it happens at some point. Like, it would be nice to see Rock Band 4 on PC, and it would be nice to have all the songs there and have Rock Band Network back, because I thought that was really great on the 360. But it just seemed like it was a little bit tone deaf, especially after Amplitude. I don't have my backer rewards for Amplitude. Like my vinyl and my PS2 case. Like, I don't have that stuff. And basically what they're saying was, okay, well, we're going to do the PS4 version, and then we're going to do the PS3 version after the PS4 version's done. And then after the PS3 version's done, we're going to start on the backer rewards. And it's like, no, that's upside down. Like,
yeah, backer rewards, that stuff comes first because you took my money.
Right, and I'm sitting next to a box of Toe Jam and Earl stuff that I got. Like a month after that Kickstarter, I spent a lot of money on the Toe Jam and Earl Kickstarter. And I got like all these vinyl figures, I got a sweatshirt, I got posters, I got a mug. Like, I got all this cool stuff a month after that Kickstarter was successful. And that's way sooner than I would have ever expected that to happen. The Toe Jam and Earl team is like 6 people. And they somehow managed to get all this stuff done. And Harmonix, who, to be fair, has been having some issues over the last couple months, it just feels like they're kind of losing sight of a lot of stuff here. And it's kind of sad to see this kind of continue to go I don't want to beat them up, but it...
Well, I mean, they were one of the good guys for a long time, and now they just... I don't know, the machines just chewed them up.
I don't know. The one thing I'd like to see them do is do something with VR. It seems like the games they make with the style of things they make seems like it would be really well suited to VR. They just need to make something. Even if it's you want to partner up with Sony again and put something on the PlayStation VR, sure. But...
oh my gosh, if they have a Katamari Damacy for VR.
That would be pretty interesting. Although, you would have to have it third person, because if not, you're just looking at this ball.
Oh, just looking at my hand.
You're just the prince. Just these two hands.
Just two little hands. Like, and they're just like...
yeah, exactly. That'd be pretty cool as a third person one. All right, let's talk about the Xbox 1.5 We haven't talked about that a little bit because it's so far been rumors. The Xbox boss Phil Spencer comes out and they're like, "We're not doing that."
Good.
So his direct quote he told a Game Informer was, "quote I'm not a big fan of Xbox One and a half." End quote. He says, if we're going to move forward, I want to move forward in big numbers. I don't know anything about any of the PS4K rumors out there, but I can understand other teams' motivations to do this. I think that something interesting he said here was actually, it was, quote, am I going to break open my console and start upgrading individual pieces of my console? That's not our plan. There's something special about what happens with a console. You buy an appliance-like device, you plug in your TV, it works when you plug it in. It's not like I'm going to ship a screwdriver set with every console that comes out, end quote.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I mean, if you want to be super pessimistic about it, consoles don't really work like that out of the box anymore once you get the firmware update and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I appreciate him coming out, and it would be great if you could put larger hard drives in the Xbox One like you can with the PS4. That would really be the only thing that I think should be a standard with consoles nowadays.
Well, they should at least be modular. I mean, now you can get a solid state drive for like $160 for what 512 gigs,
Yeah.
or even a terabyte at $200. You just
It doesn't play four-play games. The games just stay the same. That's something that I think I could understand because they would push back into that PS2 era where they want to be an affordable disc player as opposed to just a console. I can understand that, but
I mean, and then the funny thing with that is when you start talking your module stuff, like, there's all these other different avenues that you might not think may be a problem in the home. Like, remember when Sega CD first came out, it was a sandwich style. Like, it was a version, the thing was underneath, but it generated so much heat, it literally melted the bottom unit.
right.
Until they forgot, oh, we need to slide this off to the other side.
I'm going to buy a module and we have more RAM in there. I'm going to buy a module and you get a better video card, or a new one comes out that has a better video card in it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's smart, and they're doing what I think needs to be done on it. They're talking generational
Right.
upgrades versus intermittent,
Right.
which no one's really done it like that since Sega, and
And that did not work out for them.
No, that did not work out well.
And the thing that I would understand with Sony is if they want to come out with the PlayStation 4K, and the only thing it does better is that it plays 4K Blu-rays, but it doesn't play 4-play games. The games just stay the same. That's something that I think I could understand because they would push back into that PS2 era where they want to be an affordable disc player as opposed to just a console. I can understand that, but
I mean, and then the funny thing with that is when you start talking your module stuff, like, there's all these other different avenues that you might not think may be a problem in the home. Like, remember when Sega CD first came out, it was a sandwich style. Like, it was a version, the thing was underneath, but it generated so much heat, it literally melted the bottom unit.
right.
Until they forgot, oh, we need to slide this off to the other side.
Right.
And it's things like that you think someone would think of that was never an issue till it was in full use.
Right. Run this thing for 200 hours. Whoops, it caught on fire about 100 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. Hopefully it'll turn out well.
And then for anyone that has taken apart an Xbox One, that thing is solid.
Yeah, as you learn firsthand.
There's a reason why that's heavy.
Yeah.
Is because it is literally encased in steel.
They do not want another Red Ring situation.
No.
And probably can't afford it.
No.
It cost them whatever billions of dollars last time? $4 billion, something like that?
Yes. Yeah, some ungodly number, but
some number that Microsoft has.
This one, I'm sure if a wire is out of place, it's going to generate too much heat.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want that again.
No.
And the last news story we have here is a interesting God of War rumor / leaked concept art with Kratos taking on Norse mythology.
Great.
That was my first thing where I was just sort of like, I don't want any more God of War. But then I was thinking, that could be kind of neat to see. It would be neat if it wasn't Kratos.
Yes.
But
if it was someone like a Kratos-esque style character in that mythology, fine. Give us a new character, a new run of those games, because there was plenty of crazy stuff they can do with Norse mythology. Even cyberpunk it, and it could be fun.
That's true. It's been done before.
It has been done before.
I feel badly for Santa Monica Studio because I feel like they're kind of chained to Kratos at this point, and I think a Norse mythology game from them could be really cool. I even think one that stars Kratos could be really cool, as long as they don't fight Odin in the first game.
Yes.
Fight him 4 games in. I don't want you to be like, in the intro, I just killed Odin. Let's do this.
Oh no, Odin's the Allfather.
Right.
Like, you know.
I don't know. Like, just show the tree. Stop, some sort of apocalypse from happening. Defend Idrisil. Like, you have so much cool stuff that is cooler and way more metal than any of the other God of War stuff was.
All they have to do, like, and they could even link the two by having the Blades of Chaos being discovered in the Norse realm. Like,
sure.
And there you go. And it's a new character, new Kratos style thing, almost the same visage with him covered in this family's ashes or whatever.
Some stripes.
Just as
somewhere.
long as I don't have to relive his family dying every game.
Yeah, we're done with that in Batman, and we're done with that here. Please see the pre-show for the last couple weeks.
I don't feel bad for those characters. Not at all. No. I don't need to relive this again.
I really hope that they
He
can
brought the war to us.
Killing me here. I really hope that Santa Monica Studio can bring God of War back, because I think those are fun games to play. I just don't care anymore. Like, to put it really bluntly, I don't care about that character anymore, and it shouldn't ride on that character as heavily.
No, and he's not all that great of a character anyway. The guy literally has no redeeming qualities.
He had that first story, that first game story, that one arc. Yes. And then when he came back in the second one, it's like, all right, this is still fun to play, but I really don't care about him yelling at people anymore. And then God of War 3, the PSP games were great because it featured a lot less story.
Yeah.
But you kind of milked that cow dry, and let's move on to something else here.
It's just their pacing of those games were off.
Yeah.
You led with arguably your best boss fights. Yeah. Your first one, and everything else was a reverse crescendo.
Right.
Like, you just faded the black.
It made for a really great demo.
Oh, man.
But...
Well, I mean, look at it. God of War 1, Hydra fight.
Yep.
Probably one of the best fights in that first game.
And then by the end of that, you're fighting Ares. You're giant, and you're stomping around a city. It was a simple fight.
Yep.
Like, you cut him a bunch of times, and it ended.
And then God of War 2, you open up fighting the Colossus statue, which was amazing. Was in the demo.
Yep.
It was in the demo, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then God of War 3, where that fight against Poseidon was arguably one of the best boss fights I've ever done in a third-person game.
And one of the best looking, where you look at it and you're like, this is 1080, man. Like, this is you guys need to see this. This
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then from there, the whole way down, like, you just...
One lame boss after another. It felt like they were kind of scraping the bottom, where it's like, can we put Helios in here? Like, sure, I guess. You can rip his head off and use it as a nightlight? I don't know. It all just felt kind of like that, where it's like, who do we have left? That's why I'm excited potentially about Norse mythology, is there's a rich mythology around that could be really cool if they don't flip the game's content upside down.
Yeah. And which is something they do notoriously.
Yeah.
Is like, they get great, they do, like, it's like their whole front end is in this first fight, and they're like, oh no, we got to finish this thing. Let's cobble together everybody else.
And most of God of War 1 was in one dungeon that you were kind of crawling in and out and around them, and that was super great.
Yeah, it's something that game, that scale of that game was just, man, when you get onto Pandora's Castle, which is on the back of Kronos, was amazing.
Yeah, you're like, this castle's really great. It's what?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to tweets here. Will underscore Malva? Sorry. Pre-ordered Final Fantasy 15 Ultimate Collector's Edition for about $300 after everything. Claptrap in a box doesn't seem so absurd anymore. Well put.
Well, yeah.
You don't get any motorized Claptrap with Final Fantasy 15.
No.
And maybe it's worse for it.
You know what? If you love the property, you will spend the money.
Yeah, that's true.
You will, because it just... There's something about, like, supporting something you like so much. It just...
And getting some cool swag.
Yes.
Getting a statue, getting a motorized Claptrap, getting a...
Claptrap bottle opener.
Yeah.
And a loot crate. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's all that stuff. Like, even though, like, I wouldn't, like, that Brady's Games, that hardbound Borderlands 2 book, I have never looked in it.
Yeah.
I just loved the cover art.
Yeah. You're willing to spend the money on something you clearly love.
I do.
Next tweet is here from Mr. Awesome. One for Knobs. I'm having trouble getting some Xbox One achievements to pop. Is there a trick to get them to pop later? Thanks, guys.
Which achievement?
The only time I've run into that is when there's a bug in the game itself. Typically, it seems like that's not a problem with the console. It's more of either there's the game, there's something wrong with it, or like the game hasn't picked up Patch It, maybe?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Some of the games with trophies and achievements are really weird. Where it's like, yeah, I just did that whole thing, and the game's like, no. You didn't. Good try, but no. All right, that's all of our tweets and emails this week, actually. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. Write us in the whole week. I just save them all up. Will wrote about 4 days ago. Still read his stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good. Don't forget to join us in our Discord chat room. We always
pretty funny because hey, it's backwards compatible. Just install it. Let's go.
Yeah, but not that far.
Not that far. And that is 10 p.m. EST. Join us for I think Tuesday's Destiny, Wednesday's Rocket League on the PlayStation 4, Thursday night Steam game night, and Friday through Sunday you'll probably find us playing something.
Don't forget you can watch the show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, youtube.com/thatvideogamepodcast. And don't forget to go vote for the Game Club Game of the Month. We got 3 pretty interesting games here. Join the forums, vote. Your vote matters. It's almost always like 1 or 2 votes away. So you can go vote there. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
All right,
hey, when are we getting our fight night together?
Yeah, I know. I want to do it. What's a good day this week for you?
I don't know.
Not Mondays?
No, not Mondays, yeah.
Okay. I'll hit you up. What time's a good time for you, like on Tuesday, maybe?
Well, Tuesday, once the weather breaks here, because we had the worst snowstorm of the season.
Yeah, what the hell?
Like this weekend.
Yeah. Network, youtube.com/thatvideogamepodcast. And don't forget to go vote for the Game Club Game of the Month. We got 3 pretty interesting games here. Join the forums, vote. Your vote matters. It's almost always like 1 or 2 votes away. So you can go vote there. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
All right,
hey, when are we getting our fight night together?
Yeah, I know. I want to do it. What's a good day this week for you?
I don't know.
Not Mondays?
No, not Mondays, yeah.
Okay. I'll hit you up. What time's a good time for you, like on Tuesday, maybe?
Well, Tuesday, once the weather breaks here, because we had the worst snowstorm of the season.
Yeah, what the hell?
Like this weekend. Tuesday, probably Wednesday nights might be the night.
Okay, I'll text you maybe Wednesday morning, my time.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can get something going. At least to try it out and see if the whole thing works.
Yeah. Join us for our beta test. For DOA 5.
Yeah, the twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. All right, I've got 5 titles here. 63 points. Not famous. He's Bobby Drake. This one's probably going to win. Bobby Drake versus Littlefinger. And Akira Trails.
Akira Trails.
I like those last 2 a lot.
Bobby Drake. Well, I think Dimebag put up Little Fingers.
Yeah. Bobby Drake versus Littlefingers.
Bobby Drake versus Littlefingers.
You want
Yeah,
that
I
one?
like that one.
Yeah. It's pretty punchy. That's a TVGP title, if there has ever been one.
Well, we've had a lot of them. We've
Yeah.
had 441 of them.
It's true. And now, 442, now that I
That's right.
circled it on my list. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 442 for April 11th, 2016. Bobby Drake versus Littlefingers.
Oh no, Westeros is frozen!
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We have a ton of people watching and chatting with us this week. That is always really great. We hope to see you this same time next week. Subscribe or follow or whatever it is on Twitch, and you'll get notifications when we go live. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, the whole thing.
Yeah, feel free to follow us on the consoles too.
Yeah.
I'm not shy. Clearly,
Yeah, JNob33 over there, Janston over here, and we'll see you next week.
Laters.
Adios.